Yo, before we get started, I just want to say something.
Hair, black and white, clear as crystal. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You bumped into the ceiling, which now has to be washed and sterilized, so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I just had to let y'all know that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times people be coming around with that BS, be coming around with them games, So anyway, yo. I know a lot of y'all are out there celebrating Christ and all that. That's good. I have an issue with why there's a big thing about, trans vision or identity, whatever. When you guys got to understand something, you can't resurrect on 2 different days. Okay? So this thing can't be in March and in April. That makes no sense. So obviously it's more allegorical, if anything, and that's what you need to get. But I want to talk about camels, man. That's what I want to do, man. I want to talk about these camels, man. Let's do something. All right, you guys there? Okay. So these stories we always get, and we're always dealing with the East. Cheers. We're always dealing with the East. And everybody says that everything started out there and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. Although they are now extinct in North America. Camels first evolved there more than 40 million years ago. So wait a minute. Hold up. So wait a minute. You're telling me that in 1492, conquistadors first make it to the Caribbean. And in the 1500s, the Portuguese are the first to make it to the American soil. 1600s, Europeans first make it to the Americas. You guys didn't even know about America. The God of your Bible never even spoke about America. So remember this out of Africa theory, how all plant life and how all animal life comes from Africa, but the camel doesn't even come from Africa. So that's 2 different animals. That's your kangaroos and your camels. Of course, the bear and all that stuff, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm just showing you the flaws in the out of Africa theory. It never made any sense. So, since Pangea is over 200 to 300 million years ago, and the story of the West Africans before Columbus coming to the Americas is only in the 13th to the 1200s. There's no Pangea, so these camels couldn't have walked to Africa. The West African couldn't have brought camels from America to Africa. That would be documented. So they couldn't walk over. The Africans didn't bring them over. But camels are recorded to be in ancient Egypt. So, when people talk about Egyptians coming to America and them giving the Americans information, it's always the East gave it to the West. But through the animal life and plant life, it's proving that the West gave it to the East because the camels were in the West first, just like tomatoes. So when you think about all that Italian food, there could be no pizza, no pasta. None of that could exist because they've already admitted that they got the tomato from America. Basically saying Italian food is modern, it's not old. If we are crazy and we are wrong, then it's just like religions. Why do you think religions are anti-science? Because it would prove them to be incorrect. A lot of people, they don't understand that religion comes from a time of very primitive, docile people. People weren't, and I didn't say there weren't smart people. I didn't say there weren't geniuses at the time. That's not what I mean. I'm saying majority of people back then were just like today. They weren't very smart. So in order to rule the unruly, you had to make structure, which came from something greater than you, a deity, a beacon, something that they can look at as they have to follow it or they will be reprimanded. That's why all the religions come from all the hierarchies of time. It's always the pharaoh who had all the gods and the netters and stuff like that. It's always the king who has all the lords. It's always them who conduct and construct what the people are doing. Even in the Bible, they admit that the Jews, the high priests, were doing the people wrong. They even admit it. That's why the Christ is telling them, you live by the letter of the law, not by the heart of it. So the understanding is understandable if you try to understand, which a lot of people don't. A lot of people get emotional and weird, and they want to cry all day and whine, acting like angels are crying in heaven, acting like God is a punk, acting like Christ is weak. It doesn't work like that, my friends. They have to battle the demons. They can't cry to these people. So I'm saying that to say this. When people are suckered into information and then they are breeded by indoctrination, they have this religion that is biased to them studying. You know what I mean? Religions are biased to you studying. They're unless you're studying them. Other than that, they really don't want you to go outside of that realm. That's why it's bondage, religios. You're binded to this information. You can't get out. Well, if I was binded to information, I wouldn't have known that camels come from North America. But they're in Egypt. But they're 40 million years old. And it's from America that they came. But there's no Pangea. How'd they get in ancient Egypt? Why is it always somebody from the East that came to the West, but none of them documented the West? That's how we know they never went over here. It's on the West that has different things that are from the East. You have Manhattan, the Manhattanian Indians, the Mississippians, the Mohawks. Okay, M-I-M-O-M-A. It's all vowels. They're interchangeable. It's just like Mexum. That's not old. That's not old. Mexum is not old. And Mexum is interchangeable. E can be I, which can mean they are mixed. They are mutants. It's Mesoamerica. So it's M-E, yes, M-E-S. It's not Mexum. That's mix. That's how we know that came later. But this M-E, this M-I, this M-O, M-U, moo, that's already been over here a long time. We can't say we got that from the East. You can't. That's where the Moors keep trying to intertwine and say that they're from here and this is all this stuff. Okay, I'll tell you like this. Whatever Moors you're claiming are from America. They're not from the East. And if you want to say that they went to the East and were compared to the Moors that were already on the East, that's fine. But we never classified ourselves as Moors. It's just descriptive language. But the reason that they're saying that is because the M-O, the M-U, the M-I, the M-A, even with Maya, it's from over here. It's not from over there. Am I far-fetched? No. Camels are from North America. Australia is considered in the Americas. Okay. Australia has kangaroos. Kangaroos are not from Africa. So I'm saying that to say this. There's a reason that the white guy is calling Africans Negroes. He doesn't have any writing down of what tribes they're from. Later, like 120 or 30 something years later, he comes through with Jurassic Park DNA, even though he's already put the dinosaur bones together. And the plot of the movie is flawed anyway. It's from a mosquito. It's like, that's not real. You think you can just put a bunch of bones together and you're going to tell me, you know what I'm saying, this is what this was. You don't even know if these bones are right. I could have swore it was a meteor strike. It's a major cataclysm. Like, how do you have all the bones correctly right next to each other? Something doesn't make any sense. Then you have to remember, Egypt wasn't always a desert. It used to be an ocean. They found whale bones in that desert. They found whale bones in the Sahara Desert. They, the people from the south, or what they would call the north, that went to Egypt, said they had to clean out a swamp marsh. Swamp indicates water. So it was moist lands. It wasn't, why do you think it was able to be flooded so many times? Because it was underwater at a time. That's why it was so easy to flood the Nile. That's where you get your flood story from. Moses has learned in all the ways of the Egyptians. So he knew about the several floods that had already happened. He had already knew that stories. There's a reason that America is the North Gate. There's a reason that this is the land of secrets, because this is where it's at. This is why nobody will leave. They keep saying that their religion and their cultures are all better than America, but they won't leave. And you can see from the works of today that, bro, this is a powerhouse. Why? Because it's the land of milk and honey. All the nutrients were over here. You can talk about all that African stuff you want. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But at the end of the day, it's like, this place has been juiced for so many nutrients. They were just finding gold on Hispaniola like 5 years ago. They were calling it Haitian gold and stuff. And it's like, bro, they're not even from there. It's not their gold. That shit has been there. But you just found it. So that means there's gold on the earth that people haven't even found. They haven't even found the gold mines yet. There's still gold mines around here, bro. There's mines and stuff under the ground. Because remember, gold is made from the material on earth. So it's not like gold is just made and then it stops being created. No, that's not true. Just like oil. Oil eventually recreates itself. All this stuff replenishes itself. The earth is a self-sustaining unit. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole homo picture that they talk about with Geb, you know, where it looks like he's sucking his own penis. And it's like, no, Geb's the earth. It's a human representation of something that is not human. That's the earth. So it's saying that the earth is a self-containing unit. It can swallow itself and create itself over and over and over and over and over again. That's all it's saying. It's a spiral. That's another reason why they say the earth is spinning. It wasn't just talking about on an axis. It was also talking about a metaphorical spinning where it spins on its own. It's the swastika sign. It's the same thing. It's eternal. It never ends. The camels, yo. The camels is hands down letting you know that there were people in the Americas that had to have went over there. It's impossible to say that they came over here and took them over there. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It doesn't. And the bird worship. Even with the Asians, we talk about pyramids in Asia. They don't really have a bunch of bird worship though. You know what I mean? I guess no, they don't, bro. Even when Asians reference birds, they usually always go to the phoenix. That's some old Egyptian shit. They might have a songbird or a crane or something like that, but it's like, bro, those symbols are usually going to go back to some type of Egyptian stuff. All right. There's so much feather use in the West. It's ridiculous. Like, there's nothing but feathers over here. So I keep telling people, bro, this is the missing link. They don't want to admit that people on the West were heavenly, like, educated. They weren't primitive at all. You know what I'm saying? If you want to say Egypt was great, the Americas was better. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm going to say, because Egypt is one spot. The Nile Valley is one spot. Bro, I'm talking about something so big they call it 2 continents. But literally, it's connected. The whole thing is connected. It's not ripped apart. The whole thing is connected. And nobody knew about it. Camels come from over here. How did they end up in Egypt? Pangea is 60 years before the first camel. So Pangea is long gone. That has nothing to do with it. It's not animal migration. There's obviously been boatmen over here. There's obviously been people that have been excavating the earth over here as well. They're just not documenting it because all these people come from the fucking east. And if you're telling me that they burnt the books at Alexandria, you'd be a damn fool to tell me that they didn't burn the fucking teachings over here. You're an idiot. I'll never believe no shit like that. Document them as savages and take all their stuff. Document the Egyptians as weird and take all their stuff. Document all the Africans as, take all their stuff. All the Aboriginals, it's like, come on, bro. You gotta use your brain. At the end of it all, the Indian trails is the most, like, wisest thing you can be. I've been told people, these are the chosen people, bro. These are the chosen people. So much has went down on this soil in history. It's 100 times better than what's been going on in the East. These Pan-Africans, all they talk about is some ancient shit, but that's as far as they go, bro. I'm talking about ancient shit, modern shit. You can't say they was capitalizing at the time that, the transatlantic slave thing started, because Africans was doing so bad they was selling their own people. They wasn't inventing shit. They were just selling their own people and fucking the women. That's all they was doing. They wasn't doing nothing. That's why they was tricked for muskets and wine. Use your brain. They still ain't developing nothing. Now, look at you. Interior for Mustangs, Super Soakers, fucking 35 to 50 towns. The cookie cutter, the propeller for the steamboat in the airplane, the modern helicopter, the home security system. Bruh, I can keep going. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? It's y'all. It's y'all that they had to hit with a spell. They ain't hit no African with no spell. You can't hit the African with a spell. He's still in his own land. There is no lie they can tell him. He can just go to the fucking ancestors, his elders, and figure out his story. He right here. But so are you. When you look at all the things that you brought to the table, you can clearly see that you're not the African, because they haven't done a fraction of what you've done. And you done it behind supposedly enemy lines. You done this shit under drama and stress. You're doing the first open heart surgery under drama and stress behind enemy lines, supposedly. You're innovating all these vibrations. You're supposed to be depressed. They're treating you like crap. They're telling you you're nothing. You invent all the sounds. Come on, man. 50,000 patents they're hiding from you. They don't even want people to know that you did this. So they would hide all that, but at the same time tell you were Hebrews, or no, you're Africans, and Moses is a Hebrew, but he hides amongst some Hamites who are Africans, and then you would listen to these Boule people and let them tell you that no, you're the real Hebrew, but you're not even realizing that Hebrews are nomads. They're dwellers. They're bums. Like, that's how you know this shit is a con. Why is the people writing this story claiming that they have the ultimate true God? Why are they bums? Why are they wandered in Egypt, bro, due to famine. They were in Canaan first. And what did they do to them people? They slaughtered and killed them people. Canaan is Israel. There is no Israel or Pakistan before Canaan. That's the land of Canaan. Okay, they killed them people. You know what I'm saying? That's what they did. They killed them people, took their land. All right, for sure. Then Canaan becomes docile and dwell. There's desolate. There's no food around. Why? Because these niggas is nomads. They bums. They just barbarians. They just go around killing and taking people's shit. They don't know how to harvest. They don't know how to grow nothing. That's why the Jew is known for what? Masa bread. Fucking thinnest, hardest bread you can fucking eat. And some gefilte fish, which is like, bro, it's just skinny ass fish, bro. They're bums. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not crediting, Africa and Egypt, and that's not what my point is. My point is, this is who you're spellbound behind. You're spellbound behind somebody who biblically is a bum. You know what I'm saying? And then they try to credit some savior story, but it's like, wait a minute, those people, if you look at it historically, those are some black people. Those ain't even the ones that are trying to claim this person. And that's why the ones in modern time don't fuck with Christ. They tell you they don't believe that he was the son of God. They believe he was a prophet, but they don't believe he's the true son of God. So it's like, why would they say that? Because he's Judite. He fucking dark-skinned, motherfucker. They can't claim that. They can't claim that. They can't say the black dude was right. they can't say that. So it's like, they're going to tell you, nah, we just believe in God. But I'm telling you, the whole thing is bogus. The whole thing is bogus. It's just allegory. That's why he's resurrected in 2 different months. Come on, bro. Last year it was April. This year is March. Think, bro. How can you resurrect in 2 different months? Obviously, you guys are not getting the allegorical truth of this story, and you're being a child with information. You're not getting certain things, and it's whatever. But get this: the camel comes from America. The camel comes from North America. 40 million years ago. There is no way in hell that you're going to blame animal migration because Pangea is no longer. Pangea is 200 to 300 million years ago. So you have to credit 40 million years cut off of that. So you're still missing 260 million years. There's no way that the camel migrated to Africa. That's impossible. There's no way that the African could have brought camels to Africa from the Americas because that would be documented. Like I said, they only have this story about this West African chief's brother that goes meets Montezuma. Okay, they credit that for the 1300s, the 1200s. That's as far as they're going. This is 40 fucking million years ago. And then why wouldn't he have been credited for bringing camels? And then also, how did you have to explain something? The West African story is in the 1200s. Okay, bro. Egypt is in BC time. Hello. Okay, there's the camels credited to being in Egypt back in the day. So how the fuck? How did they get there? How did they get in Egypt? How are there camels in Egypt in BC time? How is that? Now, we know camels are in BC time. They're 40 million years old, but they're from North America. So how did a North American animal get into Egypt? How'd that happen? Those people from the Americas had to have went to Africa. They had to have been over there. They have traveled the world. People want to say that, oh, it's what's his name? Is it Assaw? I think, yeah, they say, Osiris information got all over the world. And it's like, okay, bro, if you want to say that, that's cool, but explain something to me. Why has nobody credited this information? There is nobody from Pan-Africans, pro-blacks, white historians, nobody has said, well, why is it that America had to be, not populated and so young when there's things from America that have been brought into the East that weren't on the East, like the camel? The camel is not from Africa. It's from North America. Okay, it's 40 million years old. So we know they're old. So we know that they're alive during the Egyptian times of rule. So we know that there's camels in Egypt. Nobody has ever knocked that. There's fucking camels in biblical times. There's camels in biblical times on the fucking East. Okay, but nobody has been to America. In the Bible, there is no America. So how did the camel get over there? Now, let me ask you another funny question. Why is the ark built from gopher wood and gopher wood only grows in Florida? Remember, you want to float off somewhere when you die. Fuck all that. I'm telling you what's right here on Earth and what they're using. Now, they might try to change the name up and say cypress, but it's like, wait a minute. You call it whatever the fuck you want. You call it gopher wood. Gopher wood only grows in Florida. That's a fact. The only place on Earth that wood is found is in Florida. So, okay, hold on. You got biblical animals like the camel in the East, but they come from North America. Okay. You have wood type in the Bible, in the biblical times, and in the East that only grow in Florida. They just discovered this place. King James makes a remix of the book in 1611. Conquistadors have been over here already. I wonder, are people seeing this? Like, are they really peeping out what I'm saying? When we're talking about this Indian stuff, bro, we're not talking about Native Americans. We're not talking about the people that don't have this information. Fucking Native American, when the hell did they ever tell you that camels came from North America? No, they didn't. It's my land, my people. Like, how? Hi, yeah. That's all they did. Cry at people throwing trash on the ground. Dog, they said it's a joke. They're circus Indians. Come on, man. But the real Indians come out here and tell you some real information like, oh, this is why you Bible thumpers don't like science. You don't like facts. You want me to believe everything that you're saying instead of knowing what the hell I'm talking about. That's not fair. It's not fair for me to believe you that my check is coming instead of going to work every week and knowing that I have to get paid for my services. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? You sit and pray to God about your rent getting paid and don't do nothing. I bet you're going to be homeless. Worship without works is dead. You have to have discernment, common sense, things that your brain has to do. Operating function. See, you have to be an operating functionality in reality. You cannot pray your way out of struggle. You have to pray for sight, which comes through meditation. And after your great studies, wisdom will appear that you will act out in your physical flesh. Well, that's what we're doing right here. That's what Easter is about. It's about resurrection. Resurrect your mind. Stop being out here being so easy to be fooled by vibrational feeling. Instead of pattern, they give you feeling. They tell you something's coming back for you, and yada, 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 yada. This something that's coming back for you is being told to you while you're alive. Your brain is an operating function. You are receiving beacons of information. So why are you waiting on something when you're obviously supposed to be revealing something while you're alive? They didn't even say everybody's going in the rapture anyway. They said it was only a certain people. 144 is only a certain amount of people that's going to get this vibration. So I would tell a person, even if they weren't going to get saved, why are you going to sit around and wait for something? Excuse me. You need to make moves. Not devious, of course, but you need to make moves. You need to your heart is always beating. That means you're always supposed to be moving. The creators of Earth, baby, you gotta make the magic happen. And that's what we're doing with this. So give me mine. I'm not the only one that said this. There's a lot of people that have on the Indian side. It's going to be on some Aboriginal Indian type of conversation. They're the ones who are going to bring this type of information up. 40 million years ago, the camel was created in North America. But every time you guys think of Egypt, you think of that damn camel. And even when you think of ancient Egypt and the Arabians and all that, you always think about these camels. How did the Egyptian get around? Oh, yeah, the camel. Okay. They'll be like, oh, they had horses. Yeah, but that's after the invasion of the Hyksos. That's how they got the chariots. See, I know certain things. But the camel, nobody's ever knocked that, even in biblical times. Like I said, remember the great Pharaoh, all this different stuff. Moses is in biblical times. He's supposed to be with Ramesses II. Camels. This is BC time. Is it getting spooky to you people that call people pretendians and say they don't know what they're talking about and they're making up stuff? You never heard this so-called Native American tell you any type of information at all. You get the Turtle Island story. That's cool. But that's allegory. It's talking about Nova Scotia, but it's still allegory. This is real talk. How'd the camel get in Egypt in BC time? If America is not in the Bible and nobody knows about the Americas? Or did these Illuminati masters, these these enlightened ones, did they know about the Americas and just not put it in the book? Because maybe they wanted to indoctrinate and take over the land. Historically, people have been in the Americas before this Bible was even made. Historically. This is crazy. It's like Moses has to be in Egypt. It has to go down first for him to write the first 5 books. Okay, camels are older than Egypt. Egypt's only 3,000 years old. The camel is 40 million years old. But it's from North America. Pangea's been gone. That means someone would have had to sail that animal all the way over there. Thank you for your time. Bout.